I'm prepping this Nissan Micra for sale here. In the previous video I tackled the mechanical issues that needed to be tackled, so it's driving perfectly. The next thing to do is to get it looking good. So we need to deal with areas like this and this. First thing I want to do though is give it a good wash and deep clean, and then we can kind of identify the problem areas an awful lot better. Washed twice and dried, so now we're going to put this Autoglym Magma on it, which removes iron oxides embedded in the paint. So let's see how much of this it removes. Okay, so this stuff will turn purple, and when it's gone purple, that means it's reacted with any of the iron oxides in the paint. So you can kind of see there how it's gone on the wheels. So that'll take a lot of the kind of the brake dust and stuff like that off the wheels. I do have new wheel trims for it, but I'm not going to put them on until the end. So we leave it to do its thing, and when it's finished, we give it another wash, and then we can start on clay barring it. Alright, so I'm going to give it another wash and get all this stuff off it, and we're going to have a look and see how it's looking then, and then, as I said, we're going to get onto the clay bar then. Right, now we're going to give it a clay bar and see how it looks after that. Alright, so the clay barring is done on the bonnet and the roof, just to show you how it turned out. So what I want to do before I do anything else is I want to try and compound those areas, give them a fairly light going over, and then see how it looks then. Not bad for an 18-year-old car. It's looking pretty good there now. A few stone chips obviously, but that's to be expected. Okay, so the bonnet and the passenger side are now compounded. Last thing really to do there is obviously address the dents, and then after the dents are dealt with, then we can actually get on to giving it a coat of polish, and then the bodywork is finished. We'll stick the wheel trims on then. Okay, the car has been fully compounded now, and I have to say it's looking pretty good. Aside from the dents obviously, and the fact that there's no wheel trims on it. But yeah, definitely time well spent. Now look at it, I mean, when you get close, obviously there's going to be things like the stone chips and a couple of little scratches here and there. It's not going to be perfect, but it's not supposed to be. It just needs to be good enough. So how about we get stuck into those dents? I bought this little kit here on Amazon actually, which is comes with a hot glue gun, slide hammer. There's a bridge type effort here for pulling dents, a little plastic hammer, this little nodger here for knocking dents out, and a few other bits and pieces. There's the glue sticks and everything as well. It was like €40 for the whole set. So we're going to try it out and see how it goes on fixing. We're going to start with maybe this one, and there's one here as well. You can't really see that one too well on the camera, but it's there all the same, and I'd say that's probably an easy enough one to start with actually. So the kit comes with an assorted array of these little lads here which stick onto the panels, and there's larger ones there for larger dents obviously as well. So you select the one that fits the dents that you have the best, and then you can actually basically stick it on with the hot glue gun. So I have the hot glue gun heating up there now at the moment. So once that's hot, we'll stick on, the one I've selected is this one here. We'll stick that on, and then we will attach it to the slide hammer, and we're going to just try and very, very gently pop it out. Even without using the slide of the slide hammer, I'm just going to try and pull on the T-bar and see if that actually does it. Okay, so the hot glue gun is hot. So I'm going to try and stick this lad on now. So I just want to figure out where's the best place to put it. So it's there. Put a... Okay. So hold that there. Give it a few minutes to dry, and then we're going to try and pop that out. Being that it's hot glue, it says that you're supposed to actually wait until it goes until it dries, but to me, like, once it cools, it's dry. So let's anyway, let's go by the instructions and just leave it be for a minute. Alright, so now the end of the slide hammer just has this little hook that actually just hooks onto it like this. I'm just going to try and gently tap it out. We'll actually use the slide and see how we go. Bollocks. Right, I didn't use enough glue, obviously. No question about how well it bonded to the panel, but it did not bond to the thing it needs to bond to very well. Okay, we're gonna apply a liberal quantity of this stuff this time. So try that amount now and see how we go. While I was waiting for the other one to set, I actually stuck this one on as well. Now, if that one didn't set properly, I doubt this one's going to have done, but we'll try it and see what happens now. So let's see. If we can get this dent out, we'd be doing really well. Right, no. Alright, I'm going to try and clean the little arbor thingy here with some brake clean actually. Just it does actually say to use some solvent, or actually says alcohol, but I don't have any alcohol that I'm willing to use on this. Anyway, right, let's give that a shot and see what happens. We'll stick that on. We'll just leave that there and let's try the other one here. Okay, slide hammer again, and just going to pull it this time. That's not really giving anything. Oh, God. Okay. Where am I going wrong here? Alright, so I've decided to move on to the other side of the car because I haven't really had much success over there, and try the larger pads and see if this makes any difference. And you know what? I think it actually does. I'm just going to try the old school method of removing this dent, i.e. whacking it from behind, which I can actually get to here in the boot. It's nearly at the point now where I could actually fill that. So I'm sure there are many applications where that dent removal kit would actually work. But to be honest with you, these type of dents that are on this car are all kind of sharp dents, and they're in awkward locations and that kind of thing. So to be honest with you, I think what I'm just going to have to do is I'm just going to have to kind of grind them back and treat them and fill them and that, and at least it'll take the rough look off. You know, look, this isn't a 15 grand car, this is a €1,500 car, so there's that to be considered as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grind back this with a flap disc and just take off the flaking paint and everything like that, and I'm going to just use a little skim of filler just to kind of cover that up, and we'll give it a lick of paint, and should look a bit better anyway. Take the rough look off it, as I said. And every time I go looking for a pair of safety glasses, they go missing, so I'm left using these gawky looking yokes. But anyway. Okay, so I've moved proceedings into the garage, and it's actually the following day here now, but I have everything smoothed out here and rubbed back and everything. I've gone over. Alright, so we're going to just get the primer mixed up here. I'd be a good one clattering the can off the car and putting another dent in it. Alright, there we go. So now, we're just going to give it a little dusting of primer just where the... actually, I probably want to mark it off there as well. Let's just get here done first of all. As I said, I'm not going to go too mad on it. I'll just get some more paper or something for down along the front door there, and we'll get that protected as well. Newspaper. Newspaper would be the right thing to use in this instance, but I don't read newspapers, so I don't have any. So that's why I'm using bits of cardboard boxes and stuff like that. It's all I have, and if I was better prepared, I probably would have gone and bought a newspaper the previous couple of days, but I'm not that prepared. So we'll work with what we have, folks. It'll do. You don't want to lay it on too thick where you end up with runs. So we're just going to do a couple of coats, and I'm going to give it a top coat, and we're just going to use the spray can itself to kind of blend in the original paint and new paint, and I'm hoping it'll kind of look fairly inconspicuous. But if it doesn't, then we might have to just kind of try and approach it a slightly different way. Alright, so I'm getting the top coat shaped up here now, and I did test it on an inconspicuous area, and it's a pretty good colour match, so let's hope for the best. Let's see, we'll try it down here first. We're just going to go with it. Very light dusting first of all, and now we let it dry. Coat number 2 is going on now, and then we are going to rub it back a little bit, and then we can go for maybe coat 3 and 4, however many it needs. Alright. Okay, so there are now 4 coats of paint on that. We've got pretty good coverage. I'd say I probably will just give it another couple of light coats anyway, just to so that there's plenty of meat there to polish it up nicely. But it certainly... I think it's going to look the part now, and if you come over the other side here as well, I've given that the same treatment as well. So yeah, I'm happy with that as an outcome, and I'll bring it back tomorrow then when I'm actually polishing it, because it's at the point now where it's literally just a case of getting the finishing touches done on it. Okay, so that is the result of about 5 coats of colour and 3 of clear, and I think that is looking pretty good there now. So what I'm going to do is I need to just polish it all up anyway and give the car a good coat of polish, and then I think we'll call it at that. In another video you will have seen me actually changing the spark plugs in this as well, because there was a bit of a rough starting issue that I wanted to get to the bottom of, and the spark plugs definitely resolved that problem. So another win. Alright, so it is now the following day, and that is dry and looking pretty good if I do say so myself. So let's just try and get the polisher onto it and see how that shines up, and hopefully it'll really look the part then. Again, I'm just using the Meguiar's Ultimate Compound here, and we're just going to go very light on it. This is the pad I was using for the rest of the car. It's not the cleanest, but it's the last one I have, so it'll have to do. Right, just going to try that section there and see if we can do a kind of a before and after on that. You know what, folks, it's not terrible. It's not perfect, but it's... You know what, you'd know the door was painted if you were looking for defects, but look, that's alright. And in fairness, I'd fess up to anybody who asked me about it. But I do think I need to go a little bit deeper on the polishing on this section here anyway. So we'll go, I'll do the full door anyway, and then I'll bring it back when that's all done. Right, let's have a look and see how it's shaping up now. You know what, folks? It's not perfect, but it's not terrible. And it certainly looks an awful lot better than the dent that was there before. So I often take the approach that the pursuit of perfection is the greatest detriment to completion of a project. And if I was to try and get this perfect, I'd be forever at it, especially because of the fact that I don't have the kind of the expertise that I need to actually kind of get this over the line. Now, I might go a little bit more on the polishing, just because It won't take that much more time and it will yield results. That's pretty good. I mean, a few little imperfections here and there, like this. I think a couple of places where the surface might not have been as clean as it needed to be, but yeah, we're going to live with that. Alright, so the last thing to do now is to bring it outside and give it a final wash. Oh, and I have to put the rear light cluster back in on the passenger side. I'll do that off camera. Final polish has been completed and I think this is looking good. Well folks, the Micra is conspicuous in its absence because it is sold. So let's have a look at some numbers, shall we? So the intention with this car was always to try and turn a profit with it, and I am pleased to report that I actually did. I made a nice few quid on it, and it wasn't for the want of a bit of effort, but it's effort that anybody could really put into it. And I was also happy that the girl who bought it is a novice learner driver, so it was a first car for her, and she was absolutely over the moon with it, so it really put a big smile on her face and everything as well. So it was nice to see it go to a good home, and yeah, it served my mother-in-law well for quite a few years. I think she had it for 5 or 6 years actually. So in the end, I have the numbers here as to how much we actually spent. So the car was €500, that's how much I gave my mother-in-law for it, being that we knew it was going to need a bit of work in order to kind of polish money into it. I spent €70 on the brake discs, brake pads were 21, wheel trims €31, exhaust gasket was €4, wheel bearings €57, and bodywork was 22, so that kind of includes paint and things like that. So that meant that we have a total spend, including buying the car, of €705, okay? Now, I sold the car for €1,200, giving us a profit of €495, which I'm very happy with. So to kind of break that down and kind of quantify it to show if it is actually worth it, if you were paying yourself €25 per hour for doing this kind of work, that would allow you to spend 19.8 hours of 19.8 man hours on the car, and I certainly didn't spend that amount of time on it in order to get it over the line. The upcoming video on it is going to show me actually changing the wheel bearings. So there is one last video coming down the tracks. I'll probably throw it up in a couple of months when I have a bit of a space in my content schedule. But for the moment anyway, the car is gone, and yeah, that's definitely a win. So if you are thinking about getting into kind of flipping a few cars for profit, if you can buy the car for the right price, and you're willing to put the effort into it, polish that bit of money into it, yeah, you can do it. You win some, you lose some. Obviously, the Golf Cabrio I lost my shirt on, but this certainly came some way towards kind of recouping the lost revenue on that one. So that kind of puts me as a happy man. So listen, thanks very much for joining me on this one, and I hope you got a bit from it, and I will see you in a future video. Chat to you soon, and please do hit the subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.